よし。今日は早めにやって、早めに終わる。そんな感じでいこうかな。また1時間で終わるわ。どうしようかな。Why teens don't pick up the phone anymore? どういうこと？ Reading for fun declines. YouTube using AI. The marketing. Do we really need vitamin supplements? 昨日4つしか読めなかったんだよね。European to supplying for better risk behavior. Gary fires man for putting up his own note. これがもうすでにわからないわ。題名から。ギャラリーが、ギャラリーっていう人か、が男を解雇したと。putting up his own art. 彼の自作の絵を展示したということで。どういうこと？ stand out 目立つかな。to be different, better, or more noticeable than others. If you want your application to stand out, make sure you have a strong cover letter drill. To make a hole in something using a tool with a rotating tip. I checked my measurements one more time before drilling into the wall. Supervisor. The person who watches or controls a person or activity. I think this item is on sale, but I'll have to check with my supervisor. On sale は多分好調な売り上げってことでいいか。セール中。セール中意味がなんか違うような気がする。けど、まあいいわ。Installation, an art exhibit, typically one made within a gallery. We came across an interesting art installation on our way to Las Vegas. インスタレーション。まあ、展示されてる芸術品だよね。calling. A strong desire or urge かこれ。to follow a particular career or way of life. Calling. My parents wanted to be a lawyer, but I always knew my calling was to be an actor. 道筋か。なんか、その夢に 達成するまでの道筋。うん。come forward to present oneself in order to provide information to volunteers. To present oneself in order to provide. To present oneself. To present oneself in order to provide information to volunteer. Come forward. We argue anyone with information about the incident to come forward. We urge anyone with information. We urge anyone with information about the incident to come forward. 名乗り出ろってことか。Galley fires man for putting up his own art. You need to think differently. Sometimes you need to think differently. You need to think differently. Sometimes if you want to get noticed, especially in the art world, but one artist's creative idea to stand out from the crowd went badly wrong when he got fired from his job. You need to think differently sometimes if you want to get noticed, especially in the art world, but one artist's creative idea to stand out from the crowd went badly wrong when he got fired from his job. Idea went badly wrong. これマジでむずいな。ここまでつなげないといけないんだよな。When he got fired from his job. An employee at an art gallery in Germany hang one of his own paintings on the wall, but there was just one problem. He didn't have permission. An employee at an art gallery in Germany hang one of his own paintings on the wall, but there was just one problem. He didn't have permission. He drilled holes in a wall, then put up his art, but it didn't take long for staff at Pinnacle, the modern museum, to spot the painting and remove it. ああ。 The gallery's Tinella told Süddeutsche Zeitung, a German newspaper. The supervisors noticed something like this immediately. The gallery, which has contacted the police, has over 20,000 works of art, including pieces by Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dali. The employee considers himself as an artist and most likely saw his role in the museum's installation team as a day job to support his true calling, the gallery told the Guardian. True calling. 転職をさせると。The main notebook, which was 1660 by 120 centimeters, was given back to him. After it was taken down, he was then fired and also banned from the gallery. The main artwork, which was 16 by 120 centimeters, was given back to him. After it was taken down, he was then fired and also banned from the gallery. A similar thing happened in German city of Bonn last year when a student put her artwork on the wall at an art and exhibition hall. She only used tape, however, and when the hall found that it had an extra painting, he went on X to ask the artist to come forward. We think this is funny and would like to know the artist, he wrote. The hall then helped the student action her painting for $4,000 with the money being given to a charity. Why teens don't pick up the phone anymore? もうね、わかんないとこがあってももう気にしないようにして、もうどんどん次に進むわ。 もう考えてもしょうがない。なぜ手に取らないのか。使用しないのかってことでなくなった。そういうことか。boundary. A line or a feature that marks the limit of an area, country. A limited of an idea, concept. The Pyrenees mountain form a natural boundary between France and Spain. Remote workers often find it difficult to set boundaries between their work and personal lives. これ見たな。全く同じ説明。Mode. An option that changes the way a device operates. Your phone must be set to airplane mode before takeoff. An option that changes the way a device operates. デバイスオペレーターってデバイスの命令だけど、なんていうのデバイスああ、命令じゃねえわ。動作だ。オペレートは。ignore 無視。To not consider or pay attention to someone or something. I've been deliberately ignoring his text messages all week. Reject. 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 To fail. To show proper care or concern for someone. I felt rejected when I found out my friends didn't invite me to the party. 疎外感を感じるってこと？ Hyper-connected. Characterized by the widespread or regular use of devices that are connected to the internet. Characterized の意味がよくわかってね。特徴か。Characterized by the widespread or regular use of devices that are connected to the internet. Hyper-connected. だから、インターネットに接続されている機器全般のこと、その状況を指すと。For teens growing up in today's hyper-connected world brings a unique set of challenges. 10代にとって、この情報化社会が成長することは、ユニークなチャレンジを設けている。ハイパーコネクトの世界で成長するティーンエイジャーにとって独特の課題が生じている。そうだね。comfort. The easing or removal of feelings of sadness or stress. comfortable はその安心するとか安心できるとかそういう意味だから。それでまあ負の感情を排除する comfort. When faced with problem, I always turn to my sister for comfort and advice. 元気つけてアドバイスをくれる。望めた助言を求めて。When faced with problem, I always turn to my sister for comfort and advice. Turn to で、なんか、相談するって意味なんだ。I always turn to my sister. Why teens don't pick up the phone anymore. Cell phones were invented so people could talk anywhere, but today they are used for almost everything except talking, especially by teenagers. For most young people, the phone is no longer mainly used for calling. Instead, it's a tool for other forms of communication, like texting a message on apps such as Snapchat, Instagram. Of course, teenagers make or answer calls sometimes, but usually only in special situations, such as emergencies, urgent question. urgent question の意味がわかんない。なんだっけこれ。緊急の質問ね。Or when a parent is calling. According to an cold year, an expert in information for and communication science. When teenagers choose text-based communication over phone calls, it doesn't mean they are lazy or rude. It's just part of how they communicate. In fact, it's often their way of setting boundaries in a world where people feel they are expected to be available all the time. In fact, it's often their way of setting boundaries in a world where people feel they are expected to be available all the time. うん。Sometimes I leave my phone on silent mode on purpose. 17-year-old Elsa told Cody in the conversation the way I can have some peace. Cody says, when a teenager ignores a phone call, it doesn't mean they are rejecting the person, it just means being available is no longer something to be expected. no longer something to be expected. In fact, unexpected calls can even feel rude to teenagers. For them, it's polite to check if the person is free before calling. It's polite to check if the person not answering the phone also gives young people some control. while answering it means there's no time to prepare what to say, which for many teenagers feels uncomfortable. On the other hand, texting feels safer because they can write, delete, and rewrite until they are ready. They can also wait before replying, which makes the exchange calmer and less pressured. Older generation may still see phone calls as personal and caring かな。なんだろう。Older generations may still see phone calls as personal and caring. なるほどね。But young generations who are growing up in a hyper-connected world find the same comfort is in text, silence, or even a simple emoji. And neither generation is wrong. They just follow different rules of communication. うん。Read for fun. Decline in US. Decline は低下する。だから、楽しみのために本を読むことがアメリカで低下してると。まあな。でも勉強のために本を読むのは普通か。わかるのかもないんだよな。面白い本があればね、わかるんだけど。なかったらね、見ないからね。わざわざ。ゲームとか動画でいいってなっちゃうもん。Classic. A book, movie, etc. accepted as being important. Many of Alfred Hitchcock's movies are considered classic. インポータントって意味なんだこれ。古いって意味じゃねえんだ。Function. An activity that a person or thing is intended to do. 機能かな。Studies have found Studies have found that learning a new skill may improve cognitive function. 何これ認知機能か。なんだっけな。まあいいわ。significantly. In a way that is large enough to be noticed or have an effect. とてつもなくって意味だね。His writing has significantly improved since the start of the semester. 楽器 Exception. A person or thing that is not included in something. A person or thing that is not included in something or does not follow a rule. ああ、なるほどね。除いてか。I've been to every country in Europe with the exception of Italy. Literacy. The ability to read and write. Hmm. Skill or knowledge in a specified area. The exam is designed to test a student's literacy skill. literacy skill は、なんだろうな、言語能力でいいのこれって。国語力とかでいいのかな多分。Computer literacy is a requirement for most jobs these days. Accessible. Able to be reached, used, etc. easily. The new Prime Minister said his priority would be to make healthcare more accessible to all citizens. この例も聞いたことあるな。Article. Reading for fun declines in US. Reading for fun has many benefits, whether you read the classic or the latest crime novel. Crime novel は、なんだろう、事件、サスペンス小説とか、犯罪小説、推理小説。It grows your vocabulary, increases your general knowledge of the world, and has even been found to improve brain function. However, a recent study has found that the number of Americans regularly reading for pleasure has fallen significantly over the last 2 decades. 20年でか。The research used data from between 2003 and 2023 from the American Time Use Survey. American Time Use Survey. The research used data from which asks Americans aged 15 and older to give detailed list of what they did during a 24-hour period. The researchers looked at survey response from around 24,000 no なんだろうこれ240,000これさどうやって読めばいいの一回もう検索かけてさ見てみるかなんて読めばいいこれマジでそれでいいんだわかんねえ。合ってんのかな Although there were no results for 2020 as data collection was paused for part of the year because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the survey looked at people reading for personal interest, which could include books, magazines, newspaper, and even listening to audiobooks, as well as time spent reading with children. The study found that number of Americans who reported reading for pleasure on a given day fell by about 3% each year. 2004 was an exception. It was the year that the highest percentage of participants reported reading for fun at 28%, but by 20 and 23 that number had fallen to 16%. Also, just 2% of participants reported reading with children on a given day, even though more than one fifth said they had a child under 9 years old. This was true for every year of the study. The researchers said this was boring, as reading with children is an important part of developing literacy. To get Americans reading again, the researchers suggest taking a community approach. This could be making public libraries more attractive and accessible, and making reading feel like a social activity through things like book club. Hmm. Do we really need a vitamin supplement? Immune system は抗体かな? The organs and the processes that protect against disease and illness. Not getting enough sleep can weaken the immune system. And inhibit that body's ability to fight infections. Inhibit. Inhibit とはどういう意味? 阻害する inhibit the body's ability to fight infections. Okay. Balanced. Including different things in correct amounts. Eating a balanced diet can lower your risk of developing a number of health conditions. Nutrient. Any substance that helps a living thing survive and grow. Avocados are rich in healthy fats and other nutrients. Rich in healthy fats and other nutrition. Supplement. A type of a pill that contains vitamin, nutrients, etc. My doctor recommended taking an iron supplement during my pregnancy. Decline. A continuous decrease in amount and quantities. Recent research suggests that postponed retirement may slow cognitive decline. Postponed retirement may slow cognition decline. Slow cognitive decline. うーん、そっちになるんだ。Stroke. A health condition. A health condition. A health condition caused by a sudden loss of a health condition caused by a sudden loss of blood flow to the brain, stroke. A new study has found that living near green areas can reduce your risk of suffering a stroke. 血が流れなくなることによる何かしらの問題。脳卒中かよ、ストロークは。Do we really need vitamin supplements? The human body needs vitamins and minerals for healthy skin, bones, and the immune system, but our body can't make most of these vitamins and minerals naturally, so we must get them from food. A balanced diet usually gives us all the vitamins we need, but many people don't eat enough healthy food to meet these needs. The average American is eating half of the fruits and vegetables that are recommended. Bess Dawson Hershey, a professor at Tufts University, told the BBC, "So if you're learning in that direction, then you are probably missing out on some essential nutrients." これちょっとよくわかんなかった。ああ。learning じゃなくて leaning だし。If you're leaning in that direction, then you are probably missing out on something essential nutrients. To fill these gaps, many people turn to supplements. In fact, more than 70% of Americans say they take vitamins or mineral supplements regularly, and the global supplement industry is now worth over $32 million a year. But research also suggests that certain supplements may not deliver the benefit people expect. One study with 450,000 participants found multivitamin use did not reduce the risk of heart disease or cancer. Another study followed nearly 6,000 men for 12 years and found that multivitamins did not prevent problems like memory decline or slower thinking. The bigger concern is taking too many supplements, as this can be dangerous. Too much vitamins can cause serious health problems and, in extreme cases, death. And taking too much of vitamin E has been linked to a higher risk of having a stroke. Still, that doesn't mean supplements are always a bad idea. For example, vitamin D helps keep our bones healthy and strong. Our body can make vitamin D from sunlight, but people who don't get much of sun, especially in winter, might benefit from taking a vitamin D supplement. Even so, most experts agree the best way to get vitamin is from food. Supplements can help in some cases, but Having a healthy diet is best. うん。昨日4つしか見てないのに今日5ついけるわ、1時間で。俺が読むのが早くなったから。だろうけど。本当だったらな、1個の記事2分くらいでいけるんだけどな。間違いなく日本語だったら2分以内でいけるもん。この程度だったら。英語だから、13分とかかかっちゃってるけど。日本語だったら余裕なんだよな。だからこの記事を、なんかマジで2分くらいで読めるようになりたいな。そうなるまで続けて、2分くらいで完璧に読めるようになったら、次のレベル8に進むとか、そんな感じでいいんじゃないか。Europe introduce fines for bad tourist behavior. Fines. ああ、罰金か。Europe introduce fines for bad tourist behavior. まあ普通のことだけどな。Fine. Money that must be paid for breaking a rule or law. The penalty for breaking the law could include up to 1 year in prison or 50,000 fine. Common sense. Good judgment in practical manners. Matters. Practical matters. Just use your common sense. If you see an empty shell, restock it. Measure a plan or action done in order to achieve a particular goal. The UK has announced a number of measures aimed at reducing its dependence on fossil fuels. 方法とか方針とか政策とか、そういう、そんな感じかな、多分。Seashell. The herd outer covered of a small sea creature. We fired a glass jar. We filled a glass jar with seashells we found on our summer vacation. Distraction? Something that stops a person from being able to concentrate for focus. There are too many distractions at the office, so I'm a lot more efficient when working from home. Bear of a person or body part not covered or having clothes on. I want to wear my red dress, but I think it might be too cold tonight for bare shoulders. Europe introduced fines for bad tourist behavior. And this summer, countries across Europe are introducing new fines for tourists who behave badly. Although many of the new rules might seem like common sense measure to limit bad behavior, others might surprise you, and the fines can be expensive. In fact, tourists could be fined before they even get off the plane. You've probably seen passengers jump up from their seats and reach for the overhead lockers when a plane arrives and its destination. But in Turkey, if you do that before the seatbelt sign turn off, you could be fined around $20. どういうことこれ？ああ、ジャンプアップの、ジャンプアップっていう表現があるよ。Many tourist destinations? Many tourist destinations have introduced a fine for wearing swimwear away from the beach. Many tourist destinations have introduced fines. These include Spain, Barcelona, Portugal, Albania, Croatia, Split, France, Ghent, and Italy, Sorrento, and Venice. In this place, walking around town in your swimwear could cost you up to $1,700. Many tourist destinations で、観光地って意味なんだ。Many places also have public drinking bans. Drinking alcohol outdoors in many locations in France, and it could cost you $160. On the Croatian island of Ichfur, it costs $700. And on the Spanish island of Malacca and Ibiza, it could cost up to $3,500. 公共の場で酒飲んだだけで35万。嘘だろ。マジで。訳詞間違ってないよな。間違ってないよね。マジか。In Spain, if you reserve a sunbed by putting your towel on it and then don't use it for a long time, you could find up about $290. ああ、サンベッド。ああ、そういうのがあるのか。If you reserve sunbed by putting your towel and then use it for a long time, you gotta find up to about $290. Take a seashell from beach in Greece and it could cost you over $1,100. Do the same on the Italian island or Saudi, yeah, and could cost you around $3,500. あ、違うわ。$3,500. Of course, we all know we shouldn't drink alcohol when driving, but in Cyprus, if you drink anything at all when you're driving, even water, it's considered a distraction and you'll be fined $100. And in France, Spain, Greece, Italy, and Portugal, you need to wear proper shoes when driving. If you wear sandals, flip-flops, or just have bare feet, you could be fined up to $350. うん。素晴らしいな。だいたい12分くらいで俺読み終えてるな。まだ1時間なってねえや。1時間なると思ってたら、あれだ。俺が早すぎて、もう5個の記事読んだんだけどな。まあ今日は早く寝る。マジで早く寝る。からもう終わるけど、一応、ちょっと勉強するかな。 Japanese students prefer typing to handwriting. どういうこと？日本の学生はタイピングすることを、ハンドライティングのタイピングすることを好んでいる。どういうこと？これ。多分漢字書くよりも普通に変換した方が早いからってことかな。そりゃそうだ。まあいいわ。じゃあ、また明日も頑張ろうぜ。またな。